sound of iconic British hardware can be heard on countless hit records over the last 50 years. And now, Softube's British Class A makes this sound available to mix engineers who want this unmistakable character and tone on their individual tracks and buses. One of the classic tricks of the British Class A is the low-end EQ trick. Let's start with our kick. Completely boost the low shelf and then use the low cut to tighten it up. Next, engage the high Q button on the midband and add a cut right after the fundamental of the bass drum. Let's add that British drive to our bass drum and tailor the tone using the character knob. Enhance the sound of the beater with the high shelf and then remove any harsh buildup with the high cut. Now let's listen bypassed and then engaged. Let's open the sound of our snare with a high shelf and then remove unwanted tones in the midband. Now use the low shelf to add some body back to the snare. The gate can be used to help isolate a source. Listen to how we clean up the bleed and decay, but then use the depth to help keep the gate sounding natural. Now let's listen bypassed and then with the British Class A. Let's drive our guitars and then use the filters and the EQ to keep them focused. Now let's use the diode bridge compressor to help get our guitars under control. Listen before and then after. We give you the option to use the famous limiter at the same time as the compressor if you want. Hear how the limiter can keep our drum room sound under control. Let's add the compressor. Set the attack longer to let transients through, or keep it short with a 6:1 ratio to crush transients and bring out the room sound. Now parallel mix some dry signal back in. Now let's listen bypassed and then engaged. For complete tactile control over British Class A, load the channel strip using Console 1. And for you synth enthusiasts, British Class A comes with 4 modules for use in modular. And guitarists will love the sound of these modules for use in ampering. Download and add the tone of British Class A to your mixes today.